So what I'm going to discuss today is file input output, because you have been working with the files a lot. This is the book. Let us see. Okay. So if you can you will find this book on internet. I've downloaded the PDF file. I can also share it to it with you. Okay. So because there's so much content. So let's have a look at file input output, and because you have been working with the file so much, reading and writing operations in a file. Okay. And you were having trouble with C command also. So we'll discuss this one also as we go forward. Okay. So these are the topics that we are going to cover today, this 12th chapter, where we are going to see file input output. Okay. So let's start. Yeah. So there are multiple operations that can be performed in a uh, with the files. Now, before discussing this thing, let's have a look at the environment. What kind of environment do we have whenever we are working with the programming language, specifically C? So let's see. So when I'm talking about um, when I'm talking about a C program, we have multiple spaces. Like first of all, we have C program where we are writing something. Okay, so this is hash include some libraries. Okay, stdio.h, or I'll just draw a bigger box. Okay. Hash include stdio.h, standard input output. So I'll include the header file. So this is my C program. Okay. Then I have another space, that is my console. Console is monitor, maybe your monitor, whatever or wherever you are printing your output. So this is your console. Then you have memory. So these are the basics. And then you have disk. So can anyone tell me, like, if I'm creating a file, so where it is getting stored? If I'm saving a file,
in the memory directory.
I'm in the disk.
disk. So whenever I'm creating a file, so I have a file, let's say abc.text, abc.txt, and what happens in operating system or your computer system is, whenever I'm opening this file, it is having hello, how are you, or some content. Okay. So this text file is stored on disk always. So this is always stored over here in some space. Okay. And whenever I'm opening this file, so I will whenever I'm opening this file, so this file is loaded into memory. And whenever I'm accessing it, let's say I'm saying int a or int or char b, so and I'm writing this program to open this file. So whenever I want to open this file, I will always talk to memory. So I will always require to open. So what is open system call, if I'm calling open, or if I'm calling f write, f read? So what they are doing is they are just loading that file from disk to memory. Okay, why we are doing this is, speed of disk is very slow. We cannot always. So if I'm doing a write system call over here, if I'm writing write, so I want to write some content, like let's say I want to write integer a, value of integer a variable into the disk over here. Okay, so int a equal to 2, so I want to write this a equal to 2 over here in the disk. So I can write directly over here, but this is not the case. What I do is I load this file from disk to memory, from hard disk, basically my hard disk to memory, to main memory. And then what I'll do is I will write the contents over here. Okay, and then I will again save it, close this file and save it to the disk. So this process is clear. first of all, I will I will search the disk and I will open that file into main memory. And main memory size is very small. Disk is very large. You can always see it's in GBs and it's in TBs. So disk is very huge. So in main memory, we always load those things on whatever we are working on right now. Okay, so this flow is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so before starting, you must know like how these file operations are working. Now, for creation of a file, opening, reading, writing, and moving to a particular location, closing a file. So we are going to discuss how these things are how these things work in a in a C program, using a C program. Now, there are multiple ways you are opening this abc.txt. This was stored over here, abc.txt. So let me delete this arrows which are not useful. Where is my eraser? So I will delete extra things from here. Okay, so this is now this abc.txt file that is stored on my disk. It is having, you can open this with multiple programs. You can open it with a Python, you can open it with C program, you can open it with any program, right? So, and whenever you have a file like abc.txt, text file, or maybe any file, data file, CSV, anything, you are having a file, you can perform multiple operations on it. Like you can create a new file, you can open existing file that was on the hard disk, you need to load it into the memory, and then you can read the contents out of it, right? You can write. So for writing, what we do is we write it whenever it was in the memory, and then we save the changes to the disk. Okay, and then moving to a particular location in a file. So I was at the start position, I want to move to second line, so that is file seeking. Then I want to close the file. Okay, so whatever file operations are available, we can do with it. Now let's have a look at the first program. So hash include stdio.io.h. I need to include all those header files in my program always. So this is nothing. This is just pre-processing command. And I need to include stdio.h because I'm using printf function. So these functions, so whenever I'm using predefined functions, whenever I'm using anything that is predefined, I need to tell the compiler where the definition of that printf is stored. So I need to tell, okay, that printf is already defined in, so if you must have seen the format of the function, we need to declare a function before using it, right? We need to define a function, what that function does, what a function takes as input, and what a function gives as output. Okay, so we need to always give the definition to the compiler. So whenever I'm using a function, I need to tell the compiler, okay, this function is already declared in stdio.h header file, and its definition you can find in the stdio.h. Okay, so this is pre-processing command. Now this is main. Now whenever I'm talking about a C program, first thing that compiler does while executing a C program, it searches for the main. Okay, whenever, if even before main, if you have written thousands of lines before main, so all those lines would be skipped. It will directly jump to your main. So first thing that a compiler sees in a program is main. Okay, so it will start running from it. Okay, now you say like header file stdio.h is predefined already, so why it's not running this one? So it will run, it will use this stdio.h once it reaches the printf function. So whenever it reaches the printf function, it searches for the definition of the printf function outside the main, and it will search, okay, stdio.h is somewhere defined outside the main. It will take the definition from there, and this printf function definition says like whatever you are passing in it should be printed on the console. Okay, on your monitor. So this is the idea behind whatever header files are doing. Okay, now printf function. So in printf, anything you write in double quotes is printed directly on the screen. Okay, so if you write hello in double quotes, it will be printed directly on the screen. So if you write it printf hello, so on your console you will get hello as output. Okay, so but I want to use instead of hello, I want to print hello Apeksha. Okay, so A is so I will assign Apeksha to character or maybe an array because Apeksha is having 7 characters, right? So each and every character I need to store in an array. So I will store A in next value. In A0 I will store A P in second. So this is array of 6 uh, uh, locations, right? So I will store this name in array, and I want to print hello this whole content of this array, right? So I cannot directly use this printf uh, because suppose I want to replace this name by another name. So I want to print a variable, right? So for printing a variable, what I will do is I will write printf %s, and suppose this array name was A, so array 1, maybe array 1, so %s array 1 semicolon. So %s, so whenever I'm using percent, this is the identifier. It is saying whatever is coming in the next, it is a variable, and fetch the contents of that variable which I'm specifying after this comma. Okay, similarly, so %c will tell me like whenever I have character C, okay, you next after comma you will find a character, because %c is for character, %d is for integer, s is for string. Okay, so similarly you can say %s, %c, %d. So this percent will tell you like upcoming is a character or integer or a string. Okay, so printf this comma ch is variable, name of the variable. So it will go to okay this, and whatever is stored in the variable, it will uh, fetch its content and print on the console. Now ch, where this variable is stored, anyone? Where this, if I'm writing int a equal to 2 in this program, so where this a is stored? So this will be stored in memory itself. Okay, so this will be stored over here, a. Basically it's not like this. There is a few bytes are allocated, and name to these bytes are given as a. Similarly, if I write char b, so few bytes are allocated, and B is name is given to those bytes. Just those names are given to those bytes, because we know everything is in binary in memory or in computer system. Everything is stored in binary. So maybe 1 byte or 2 byte, 8 bits or 16 bits are allocated, and we give names to those 16 bits. So like whenever we are using a is equals to 5, so those 5 will be stored in those 16 bits only. Okay, so this is the uh, work of a variable. Now, up till now, everything was clear. Any doubt?
Ma'am, can you please explain the PID and fork part also after that?
Yeah, if we have time, definitely I'll do that. But today I'm planning to finish this file part, and then in the upcoming lecture we can do that fork and okay. So this part is clear. Whatever
ma'am.
we have discussed.
Yes, ma'am,
Or
this part is clear.
this part is clear. Okay, so or you want me to just don't get into much detail and skip details? You want me to go with like I mean go in very brief, so I can also do that.
मैम तो like the little explanation तो we need because तो समझ में नहीं आएगा. No, it's okay what you're teaching. No, next class you can.
Okay. So let's have a look at fp is equals to f open, this line file opening. Now what this line says is open this file pr1.c in the read mode. You always specify the mode in which you want to open a file, okay? And fp is nothing, it's a file pointer. Now pointer, I'm not getting into details. Pointer stores the address. Here it will store the address of a file type, maybe structure or a variable, okay? Think of it as a variable itself, like ch will store the content, whatever content it will store. Anyway it will store zeros and ones, anyway character will store 0 and 1, anyway integer will store 0 and 1, anyway file will store 0 and 1 in the memory, right? So file will also store zeros and ones. It's just that you are defining it. Those zeros and ones are character. So those zeros and ones are file. Okay. So FP will store the address to the file. Now ch is equals to EOF. So whenever you are specifying like this is a file, this is a variable. Okay. I say okay, this is a string. So in string you have always a null character at the end. But if it is a set of characters, you don't have this null character at end. Similarly, if you are specifying set of bytes as a file, so you always have an end of file. End of file specifies your file is ending at this byte. These bytes are the content and your file is ending at this position. So everything is stored in the form of bytes. So this is first byte, second byte, third byte. And in the last byte of the file, end of file is stored. End of file, so if you want to check whether, so you are moving character by character, you are reading the file character by character, you are reading first character, second character, and whenever you are moving to the last character, you say okay, end of file has reached, so I have read the whole file. Okay, so while one is for running the loop infinitely. So whenever you are passing one, so while uh, in this brackets you pass condition, like if a is equals to a less than 5, this loop should work, this loop should execute 5 times. Okay, so while one will make your looping infinitely. Now because you are making an infinite loop, so you are reading infinitely, but you need to stop whenever your end of file is reached. So if ch is equals to end of file, you will break. Okay, so this is a simple program. So ch equal to fget c is for reading one character from the file pointer. It will go to that file, it will read one character and it will print that character. Now if that character is end of file, it will get out of the loop, it will break out of the loop. Simple program to read a file. Now let's open.
Ma'am, I had one doubt in that program.
Yeah.
Like if a text file has 3 to 4 lines and I want to do that, I want to only read the fourth line. So ma'am,
Hmm.
how can I achieve that?
Yeah, so for that what you have to do is you have to search for there is fseek, seek and current are there. I will tell you in later, like today itself I'll tell you like how you can use those. Now if you want to use the you want to go to a particular location, you can specify that location, like seek is there and you want to move to that particular location in your file, and then from there you can use the read command. Okay, so seek is there, so we will see how seek works, don't worry about it. Okay, seek you have to specify like you have to move inside your file at which position you want to move. Okay, so okay, so opening a file. So for opening a file in read mode, firstly it searches the disk, your disk. So if you want to open this file, it will search the disk and loads it into the memory. Okay, it loads the file from disk to place in memory, and this memory is called buffer. It sets up a character pointer over here, file star fp over here. star FP, and this FP will store. FP is again variable stored over here. Will store the address, maybe 1000, and this 1000 is nothing, the address of the memory where that file is stored. Okay, so it sets up a character pointer that points to the first character of the buffer. Okay, so this is how a file is opened. So that program is explained over here. Similar thing is, so let's skip this one. For closing that file, fclose is used. So let's skip this one. So this is a program to count characters, spaces, tabs, and new lines in a file. Okay, so to count them, you are running that loop infinitely, and if ch is equals to space next line, so you are counting NOL plus plus. So what is happening over here is, suppose this was your file. Okay, new section. So this was your file. So this was your first line. So after every line there is \n. So this is first line, hello. Second line was how. This is \n, r \n, and u \n. So ch, so you are reading it one by one. It goes to h, it goes to e, it goes to l, o, it goes to next line. Now whenever it reads the next line, it will add a is equals to initially 0, a is equals to 0 plus 1 first. So first new line is encountered. Okay, cursor is moved to next line. Again, it will, whenever it reaches to this this point, it will say okay, a is equals to 2. 2 lines have ended. Then it again pointer moves to reads this character, the second e character. Then it reaches next \n. So it says okay, equal to 3. Third line has ended. Okay, so it is incrementing whenever it is encountering the \n. Okay, so now your pointer is over here. Okay, so you can read it from here. You can start reading from here. You can use read, fread basically, and you can print it on your console. You can use printf also. You can use put c for putting a character, put c for putting a character onto screen. Okay, so for printing you can use such functions. Okay, so simple command. So number of tabs. So for tabs it is \t for counting. So every time if you are using \t, for example, you are writing printf, you are writing hello, you are writing \n, you are writing how. So what it will print is, it will print on console, it will print hello, and on next line it will print how. Okay, it will not print this \n. So this \n, \t, /a, so many backslash are available, and these you can use to specify like what you want to do with the text that you are having right now. Okay, so counting number of characters, how it is counting? By incrementing NOC++ this variable, number of characters ++ number of spaces, blank spaces ++. Whenever it is encountering blank space, okay, it is reading all the characters and it is checking whether if it's a space, so it will add ++ to space. If it is a next line, it will add ++ to line, and if it is a tab, it will add ++ to ++ means NOL is equals to NOL plus 1. So if I'm writing a ++, this means a is equals to a plus 1. So whatever was the previous value of a, it will be incremented to 1 by 1. Okay, so NOC++ will increment that one, B will increment that one, L will increment the number of lines, T will increment the number of tabs. This is clear, simple program. Now you can see here they have used \n. So output of this would be number of characters is equals to %d is integer, so maybe 5. So it will print number of characters is equals to 5. Output of this program would be somewhat number of characters is equals to 5. It will not print %d because it's saying okay, upcoming variable is integer type. Okay, and then because \n was there, so one line would be left and it will start from the second line printing on the console. So this is your console. Okay, and again \n is there, so it will again otherwise it would have printed from here itself number of, but because \n was there, so it will print number of blanks equal to whatever value was there in the variable nob. So nob was having, let's say, 10, so number of blanks equal to 10. Now again it is saying \n, so instead of printing from here it will print from here, so number of. Clear? This thing is clear? Any doubts up till now?
Understood.
Okay. You can see the output, number of characters. Okay, now file copy program. Now let's have a look at this one. So here, simply what you are doing, you are opening this file fs equal to null, means file is not opened. Okay, and it will print on screen like cannot open the source file and exit. Otherwise, what it will do, it will also open the write file. Okay, so it is opening PR1, it is opening PR2 in which you want to write. You are reading from PR1, you want to write to PR2. Okay, and it will open those files in the main memory basically. And if those files are open, if ft is equal to null, that means writing file is not open and it will exit, program will exit itself. Now if it has file program has reached here, that means file was opened, both the files were opened. Okay, so while one infinitely this loop will run and it will take characters from fs and check if end of file is reached or not. If end of file is reached, it will get out of the loop. Otherwise, if put c each and every character, it will take from ch and print to ft. So whatever character it has taken from first source file, it will print that character or write that character to ft target file. Okay, and close both the file. So simple program. Okay, now there are multiple modes: read mode, write mode. Okay, you will also find append mode. Append is for adding the content was 10 lines were already there. You want to add one more line, so that is 11th line. You want to append it. Okay. So you can see, sorry, there is a difference in R and R plus. So in R operations available are reading from the file. In R plus few more operations are available. That is reading existing contents, writing new contents, modifying existing contents of the file. So you have some additional privileges. So similarly, you have multiple modes in which you can open a file. Now this is programmed to write text, basically string, to a file. So let's skip this one. It's again the same thing. Okay, so this is important. So writing records to a file using structure. So can anyone tell me what is a structure? What is this? Anyone has any idea about structure?
Like structure, maybe have a particular space. Like we can like have a lot of elements. जैसे कि object oriented programming के अंदर we have various objects जिसमें जैसे we can store details of जैसे अगर we have an employee, we can have employee ID and all those stuff. Similarly, structure में भी we can arrange a lot of different variables of different data types.
Yeah. Okay. So structure is nothing. It groups several variable. Okay. So rightly explain. So if I'm writing struct emp char name int age and okay, this is nothing, this is just a data type. Okay, data type is what you have int, you have float. Okay, so you have character. So if you are writing int a, so a is of type int. If you are writing float b is of type float. If you are writing struct emp e1, so e1 is of type struct emp. Got it? So it is nothing, it's just a data type. So if I'm saying struct emp e2, so e2 is again of type struct emp. So this data type is defined by user and these data types are inbuilt. So it is nothing, just a data type. You are just telling your variable, your variable is of type struct emp. And e1 is nothing. So how will this, so emp will store some value in the memory? No, emp will not store anything in the memory. E1 will store some value in the memory and that memory will be having 20 bytes allocated to name, 2 bytes allocated to this float integer basically, and in float you will be having 4 bytes. So why I'm saying this 4 bytes, 2 bytes, 20 bytes, because character takes 1 byte, integer takes 2 bytes, float takes 4 bytes in the memory. And now how I'm saying these bytes, so this might be wrong. Why? Because depends on the operating system, depends on the compiler. So few compiler these days uses int in 4 bytes. Few operating systems uses float with 4 bytes, and few uses with 8 bytes. So that depends upon which hardware you are using. Okay. So I'm just taking the example like so this E1 will store 20 plus 2 plus 4. So 1 byte each for this array. 2 bytes for integer, 4 bytes for float. So 26 bytes it will store in the memory. And whenever I am giving some values to e1 dot name, so it will store name, first name, age, and float. Okay, value. Similarly, a2 some other name. A2 will also be having 26 bytes and will having some other name and some other age and some other float. Got it? So any doubts in this structure?
No, ma'am.
Understood.
Okay, so let's have a look at now why I need this structure is using this structure is just what I'm doing here is I'm just creating one record, second record. I can create tens of records, I can create thousands of records for each and every employee, right? It's nothing, it's, if you can see it, it's like a database, right? And in database you have name, and this is name 1, name 2, name 3 up to 1000 employees, and ages of all these employees. You have float values for all these employees, right? So BS is nothing, it's just basic salary of those employees. Okay. Now what you are doing is you are opening .t because this is a data file. Okay, you are opening it in a write mode. Now what this program wants to do is records to file using structure. Write records to file. So I want to write these records to a file. So I want to create a file in the memory basically I want to create a database in simple terms, right? And this is a file, and I want to give this file name as employee.dat. employee.dat, and I want to write names of all those employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, his age and his salary. Okay, I want to write this into a file. So this was because this is I'm talking about variables. Struct emp is a data type, E1, E2, E3 are variables. So variables are stored in a memory, and I want to store these files in a file, basically on a disk, permanent storage, right? So so this program, what it is doing is it is taking the contents of from variable E1 and E2 and storing it in the employee.dat. Okay. And how it is doing this one? So first it's checking if fp is equals to null. So that means your file, this employee.dat, you cannot open, you cannot create. It can happen sometime, because what can happen in your system, like there is another employee.dat and that is used by some other program. So in that case, you will not be able to open that file, right? So fp is equals to null. That means it will return like file pointer is not pointing to employee.dat, and it is not employee.dat, it's unable to open in the write mode. Okay, so it will print cannot open and exit the program. Now just in case fp was not null, it will go to this while. Now while another equal to y. So you need to specify another is nothing, it's just a character variable, and you have initialized this variable as y. So in your main memory, so let's create a main memory and a console. So this is your main memory. So this employee will be stored in your disk. So this is your disk, right? This is your main memory basically. And then you have your console. And then you have your C program. This is your C program. Right? So 4 things are always associated. Now what it is doing is it's saying another equal to y. So it in main memory it has allocated a variable name another. Its name is another, and value stored in this is y. So it's visible to you.
Yes.
Okay. So y is stored in this variable and its name is another. Now while another equal to y, so this is true. What it will do is print enter the name, age and basic salary. So it will be printed enter to the user, enter this and this. Okay, user now knows you have to enter what. Okay, scanf. Now scanf function will take whatever I pass as address, e.name, e.age, e.ps. So it will take address of the variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, and it will store it in the main memory. Okay, so whenever I am writing %s is for string, %d is for integer, f is for float. So this is string, integer and float. Okay,
And
so
why we have taken the address of e.h and e.bs?
yeah, because we always in scanf. So let me discuss this scanf also. So if I'm writing %a, int a, semicolon, scanf %d, address of a. This is always the syntax of a scanf. We always write address. Why? Because I want to go into main memory, and where this a variable is stored, I want to write the contents, whatever user is writing. User has entered 5 on the console. So this 5 should go to the address of the a. It is having address 1000, and it should store over here, right? I always want to access the address, access a variable by its address, right? So I always write address of a. This operator is address of operator. Address of operator. Okay. So I always want to, so I always use in scanf, if I'm writing scanf percentage C %d address of, because I have written %c and %d. So first should be character variable char x, and second should be integer variable into y. So %c, %d, address of x, address of y, semicolon. X is character, %c. Okay, I'll highlight with another color. So this is %c, address of x, and this is %d, address of y. Okay, so I always use address of variable. Now because now my variable is E1. In previous section, let's see. Now my variable is E1 and I want to access E1 dot name, so I can access it this one. Okay. Okay, so this is E2 dot this. I want to access this byte, so I will say E2 E1 dot age. I want to access this byte, so I will do E1 dot float. Now question is, good question, and question is why I have not used address of with E dot name. Why we have not used address of operator with E dot name? So anyone can say if anyone knows. This is normal, like I'm using address of with all the variables in scanf. So this is correct, this is correct. Why we have not used address of with name? Okay, so you can
Yes, ma'am, it is a string.
Because it is a
String.
string. It is a it is a sequence of characters. Basically, it is an array. It is not a string. It is just an array, and that depends upon you what you want to store in that array. So you are storing sequence of characters in that array. Okay. So now, okay, I'll tell you about arrays also. So what happens with the array is char A5. Okay. So char A5 is stored in the memory as A0, A1, A2, okay, up to A3, A4 and A5, right? So I want to access A3, this is A4 and A5, right? So if I want to print A0, so I will do printf %c, comma A0, right? Now, similarly, I will do A0, A1, A2. I will print these characters. So if I'm storing the name, so employee name was XYZ. So XYZ was the name. And these bytes would be empty. Okay, so this is how employee name is stored. Now, what is A? If I do print A, so what A will print? Printf %c, comma A. So what it will print? Any guesses? So A is nothing. Name of the array is nothing. It's just the address of the array. So if I'm talking about A, so A is the first byte. So this is 1000. Address of this first byte is 1000. Address of second byte is, if it is a 1 byte, if it's storing 1 byte, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. 1005. If you want to print the address of second byte, so it will be 1001. Okay, and if you want to print the address of this A, it will print 1000. Okay, so and if you want to print the whole string, you need to do %s and address of A. So this will print your XYZ. Getting my point? So %s is for printing the whole string, and A itself, name of the array itself represents the address of the array, address of the first element of the array. Okay. Now, because A represents the address, so I don't need to use again the address over here, right? Because name represents the address of the name array, E dot name array. Getting my point? Because name itself is a array. Okay. So that is why we have not used address of operator over here. Now, fprintf will write whatever user has entered. Scanf, what scanf will do is, okay, so first thing, let's see. So after I have done scanf, so as soon as I do scanf to something, So that thing is written. So this was my original memory. This was my console. So as soon as I write, okay, XYZ, you should write. So it will write XYZ to the memory, okay? Memory in the variable E, okay? In variable E dot name, E dot age, 20, E dot salary, 1000, okay? So it will, so this is scanf will write whatever a user has written over console to the main memory, it will write it over here. And fprintf, what it will do is whatever is stored in this variable E, which is a record, so whatever is stored, it will write into the file. Now file is also there in the memory, so it will file pointer, it will write these contents, so it will write xyz, 20 and 1000 in the file. Again, in this variable I will read, so again it will print on the screen, add another record, it will print, you want to add new record, so question marks, so it will say yes, it will press yes. Now this yes is again an input from the user, so it will again scanf. So this is get che. So get che is nothing, it will get a character from the screen console, and getting that character is if user has pressed Y, so this loop will run again, and it will again print enter the name and age and basic salary. It will say okay, XYZ1 31 and 2000 is the salary, right? Again the process will repeat, okay, it will scan these values, it will write this to file XYZ1 31 and 2000. Okay, so this process is repeated until user says yes, and as soon as user has pressed no, get che will return no. Another will have another was also variable stored over here somewhere here, another. So as soon as this value is y, it will loop will go on. As soon as this value is replaced to n, loop will not work. This program is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's jump to, because we have okay, these are all the simple programs. Okay, I will tell you fwrite. So just have a look at fwrite. So it's nothing. You are basically first argument is the address of the structure to be written to the disk. Similar thing, you want to write this E to the disk, basically this file. So E is the address of the structure. Size of E. Now size of operator, if you want to check the size of this was 26, right? Over here. Size of this E1 was 26, size of E2 was 26. So I would say, okay, size of operator will return size of the whole structure E, basically EMP was 26. Okay, so size of will return 26, and 1 is number of records you want to save. So if you want to save first record, second record, third record, if you want to save continuously 3 records, you will pass 3 over here. And file pointer is a file pointer that you want to store to. This is so you want to take from structure, that is E, and you want to save into file pointer. Okay, so this is E is the source, FP is the target, and size is how many bytes you want to store from E to FP, and 1 is number of records you want to pass. Okay, so so this is the database management program. So this is the so menu-driven program for database management. So here another structure is defined. Now fopen emp rb mode में open क्या है? Why it's open in rb mode? Because it's a binary .dat. We want to open it in the binary. Okay, and fp equal to null. So these two are for checking whether file is opening or not. Record size is the size of E. E is the employee structure type. So that is of how many bytes? 40 plus 2 plus 4. So again 46, right? So size of size of each record, each employee. So employee 1, employee 2, employee n up to n variables. So each and every variable would be of 26 bytes. Okay, so whenever you are reading one record at one time. So that is 46 bytes you are reading at one time. Okay, while one, so this loop will run infinitely. You need to add a break statement, and you will add a break whenever you feel like you want to enter more, so like that. Okay, now it says no, so you will break out of this loop. Now gotoxy is nothing, it's okay. So you are over here in the screen, you are this is your screen. So you want to so this is x-axis, this is y-axis of your screen. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, so 10th position basically pixel, 30 comma 10, so 30th position, and y in the 10. So this is your 30 comma 10. So whatever it will do, it will start from here. So it will print hello something from here. Okay, next position, if you want to see, this is your 30 comma 11 or maybe 15. Okay, beach may you have multiple locations. So this is 30 comma 15. So gotaxi will print or at a particular location on your screen. It will print add records. Yahan pe add records. Below it will print 30 comma 12. So list records. So basically it's just printing whatever you are telling it to print. Okay, so it's saying please enter your choice. So and taking your choice as input, get character. So if you are printing 1 2 3 4, okay, so it's saying print 3 for modifying records, 4 for deleting records, 2 for list records, and 1 for add records. So you want to add record to your file, you want to modify, you want to delete, you want to list. Okay, so if choice is nothing, it's just a variable, character variable, which is taking character as input. So suppose user has pressed entered 1. Okay, so choice will have 1. Okay, so if in case, so switch case is nothing, it's just type of if else. So if user has pressed 1, so this will execute. If user has pressed 2, second option will execute, and so on. Now fseek, now let's have a look at fseek and what it does. So fseek function lets us move the pointer from one record to another. In the above program, to move pointer to previous record from its current position, we use a function fp, file pointer, that file is pointing to. Rec size is how many bytes you want to move the pointer. Okay, minus is you want to move pointer backwards, and plus is you want to move pointer forward. And seek current is the macro. There are 3 macros defined: seek end, seek cur, and seek set. And these 3 are macros. This will tell where your file pointer is. So seek end will say, okay, your file is at the end of the file, and you have to move. Seek end will tell move the pointer from the end of the file. Seek current means move the pointer with the reference to the current position in between wherever your pointer is. And seek set will say, okay, move the pointer to the starting of the file, to the beginning of the file. Okay, so you have option, you want to set where you want to move your pointer to. You can move it in the starting, you can move it in the beginning, and you can move the pointer with reference to the current position, that is seeker. Okay, so this is fseek fp0 and seekand will do what? In the file pointer that file is pointing to, you want to move how many positions? You want to move 0 position. From the seek, you will start at the ending of the file and you will move 0 bytes. Okay, you will walk 0 steps from the last position of the file. Basically what you want to do is, suppose you have this file. Okay, so this was your file. Okay, you want to add a new record. So this was your file. Okay, It's not stored like this. It's stored in the form of bytes. So this is your first record, second record, third record, fourth record. So your pointer was at the, you want to move your pointer to the last position, and how many bytes from start from this ending position you want to move to right? How much? 0 bytes. Okay. So you are telling, okay, why? Because you want to add another record, and you want to add another record in the end of the file, right? You want to add it over here. So what you are doing is you reach the end of the file. So this is your end of file. You reach over here and you move 0 bytes from here. Okay. And in the file FP. So this was your FP pointer pointing to this file. Okay. Clear? Now again, same thing is happening. It's reading the Y. Yes, any doubt?
Yes, ma'am. What is macro? You were saying macro. Macro means?
Macro is nothing. It's just predefined variable. You can say, if I say int equal to 5, int a equal to 5, so a is having some value 5. Now if I make it constant, it will throughout the lifetime it will be a is equals to 5. So macro is nothing. It's just a you can say value that is constant. Okay.
Okay.
And having some definition. So okay, so like this. So printf scanf, what it will do is take the user input, okay, and write, if write will write that user input in the file pointer over here. So it will write whatever user has entered, okay, xyz 20 and 1000. So it will write xyz 20 and 1000 over here in this position, right? This fwrite will write print, it will print, okay, you want to continue. So it says, okay, if user presses enter Y, so this loop will run. If user presses no, it will break out of this switch, whole switch, basically while loop. Okay, so similarly case 2. Now case 2 is nothing. List records. You want to print all the records in your file. So for that, rewind is there. Rewind, what rewind does is, let's have a look. So places a pointer to the beginning of file, irrespective of where it is right now. If it is in middle of something, it will move to starting of the file, and it will. So I want to do rewind, and I want to fread, read the content. Basically, I want to read this first byte. Okay, first not byte, first variable, that is first record. Okay, I want to read it. First record means this is size 46 bytes I want to read. And if I'm able to read it, so it will say, okay, 1, this is true. I'm able to read it, and it will print those values, e.name, e.age, e.ps. It will print. You can see e.name, it's using %s instead of %c because it is a string of list, or you can say list of characters. Okay. Next is modify record, delete record. I think that's it. You all can, read this one, and I think I don't need to explain much because similar things are happening, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's it. That's what I wanted to tell you for today. So I hope concepts of C programming are clear somewhat today.
Yes, ma'am. The PID parts.
Ma'am, can you please explain the system wait and system sleep, that type of thing also, PID and fork, that we have covered in the labs till now?
Yeah, so in upcoming labs, I've already said we'll discuss with those things. Okay. One more
I mean,
thing.
today's lab also 30 minutes are left. So, ma'am, can you explain it today also?
So one thing is also remaining still. So open system call I have not discussed. Nobody has asked like we are using fopen while in lab we are using open. We are not using fopen in the lab. So So I have to tell that also. So there's only one way data can be written or read in a low level. So that's a low level disk operations. So up till now, whatever was happening was we are just having a structure and that is stored in a file. While let's have a look at. So up till now, what we were doing was we were reading a character and we were placing it character by character, right? So in low level, we have whatever you are doing in your lab is you are just reading the whole data at once, right? You are not doing it record by record or character by character, right? You are taking it as the whole chunk of byte and you are copying it, right? So how you are doing this is explained further. So here comes your stat.h that you have used, your system calls, okay, fcntl.h, types.h that you have used in your programming language up till now. Now let's have a look at, so ARGC and ARGV, do I need to explain this one or it's okay? Then we'll move ahead with this.
Ma'am, could you explain arguments?
Okay, so because as I've already said, like main, whenever I'm executing a program, okay, so ARGC, ARGV, two things are there. So okay, I have option like I can execute main program itself from here itself, or I have option I can use from command line, right? I will execute this one GCC something something name of the file. Okay, I will execute from here. Okay, so I can so whenever I'm executing this one, so I have always whenever I'm executing like GCC, what's the command? GCC abc.c minus o abc.exe, right? And suppose you are giving as first as argument 1 and you are giving as argument 2. Okay, you have given two strings as input in the while executing from the command line. So two strings you are giving as input. So this is first string, this is second string. So ARGC and ARGV is nothing. It will store the list of strings that you have passed, list of basically data. Data can be string, it can be integer, anything, float. Okay, so ARGC and ARGV will store information that you have, because main is also a function. So in every function, you pass some arguments, you return some value. So main returns 0, returns nothing, right? Null basically. Okay, so its definition is defined already, predefined already, and every function, for every function, there's a definition and there are set of rules that are followed. Similar thing is with main. So you have to write these curly braces. This is also a function, simple function, and you are passing these as arguments. So whatever I'm passing as argument, so I can use it in my program, right? I can use ARGC, I can print values of ARGC, I can use the values of ARGV, right? So ARGV is nothing, it's just an array. Now let's see what it stores. So ARGC stores the count of values that I have passed in the command line. So because in the command line, first thing that I have passed was the name of the file that I'm executing. So, so this value stored from 1, stored from 0. So this is your ARGV array. ARGV is array. So this is ARGV array. So here it is the name of the file. So this name of this file program was program1.c, let's say program1.c. So program1.c will store in the 0th location. In first location, it will store the first argument, that is arg1, and in second, it will store the arg2. Suppose I have passed, after executing, along with this, while executing, I have passed, suppose, no, this is not the correct syntax. Nobody has pointed this out. While doing execution, dot backslash a dot out, I pass these values, right? Hello, how are you? How are you? Right? So this will be stored, hello will be stored over here. Hello, how are you. So this is your third, this is your fourth. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I want to print printf, if I do printf over here, printf, so I can print, I can use these values in my program. Okay, I can do printf %s, and I want to print this one, so I will say okay argv1. So what this will print? It will print hello. Okay, so while executing, while doing this is for compiling and this is for executing. So I am doing GCC for compiling, this is for executing. While executing, I'm passing four values along with it, and those four values are stored in this argv array as hello. First is the name of the program, and second is the hello, how are you. So, and I can access these contents because it's just an array. Okay, so I can access this content. Basically it does not store the whole string, it stores the address of this hello. So hello is stored somewhere here, maybe, so it will store 1000 value over here actually. That is why star is written over here, it's a pointer array. Okay, basically this array stores the addresses to all those values. Clear? And argc will store the length. So length is 4 arguments it has passed. So if you do printf %d argc, it will give you 4 length of that array, argv array. ठीक है, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you use this one, right? Open source. So we don't use fopen, we use open. Why? Because we want to copy chunk of bytes. We don't want to copy it character by character. And this is low level. That means you are directly, basically low level means you can read chunk of bytes from source file, then write this chunk to the target file. While doing so, chunk would be read into the buffer and would be written to the file from the buffer. While doing so, we would manage buffer ourselves. So this is very important. This is the point to be underlined. Like while copying the content of a variable to a file, we are managing buffer ourselves. We are not relying on the library functions to do it. We are just creating our own buffer, and then we will store the values from the buffer to the file. Okay, so let's have a look at the commands that this program is using. So first difference in copying directly, earlier what we were doing is we were fget.c, we were taking character by character and we were storing it in a variable, that is record, and we are just storing it in a file. Okay, so here first difference that you will notice is that declare a character buffer. So this is the buffer in which so this is the buffer in which the data read from the disk will be placed. Size of buffer is important for efficient operation, and depending upon the operating system, buffers of certain sizes are handled more efficiently than others. So basically you are just creating an array and that is your buffer, and it will read from the disk. Okay, so all the reading and writing part will happen through this buffer that you have defined. You are defining buffer. Okay, so opening a file. So while open, you pass some flags, rd only, binary, and you are opening this. This is the name of the file, source file, and you are using open system call. Now instead of fopen, you have open system call. Okay. And opening modes are append, opens a file for appending, creates a new file for writing, has no effect if file already exists, right? Creates a new file for reading only, read only, creates a file for read and write both, write only creates a file for writing only, binary creates a file in binary mode, okay, and text creates a file in text mode. And these flags are defined in fcntl.h, so you need to hash include fcntl.h, and you use OR operator whenever you want to combine multiple flags together. Okay. Similarly, out handle. So in handle, what in handle is doing, copying, opening of your source file and copying your content of a source file to a buffer, and this out handle will okay, both are right now opening, and then you will read and write. Okay, we'll see. So first of all, you are opening a out handle, and in handle is nothing, file descriptor. You use file descriptor in your program, so that is your out handle and in handle. You are opening source file, you are opening a target file. Now there's one more thing, SI write. So this is extra. What you do is you do only these things, right? You open the target file into create mode, binary mode, write only mode, whatever. And this thing is extra. This is permissions. So ch mode, you use change mode to change the permission manually. You can also pass it over here, and si write will say the file, writing to the file is permitted or not, reading from a file is permitted or not. Okay. Now interaction between buffer and a file. So now this read will, what it will do is it will read the content from the in handle and copy to the buffer. And what write will do is write will you can see read function take 3 argument. First argument is the file handle, second is the address of the buffer, and third is the maximum number of bytes you want to read. So everything that is written in the in handle, so all those bytes will be copied to buffer. Okay. Similarly, write has opposite operation. Write will take the bytes from buffer and copy to out handle. Okay. Out handle is nothing, that is target file, your file descriptor of the target file. So this is simple thing, simple program. Now this program you are using up till now in your lab. You are opening, you are reading, and you are creating your own buffer and reading and writing to, reading from in handle, that is source file, and writing to the output file. So that's it for today. Now, any questions about whatever we have discussed till now?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
I hope now your C programming is somewhat clear to you.